Well, hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am super excited about today's video. It is in collaboration with Ashley over at Living with Lily. She is a mobile home mama as well. She has 3 kiddos. She lives in a single wide in Michigan. She does a ton of cleaning motivation and grocery hauls, a lot of day in the life as well. She is just an awesome friend. She's one of my first friends here on YouTube, and I am so excited to be, this is my first collab. I've never done one, and I'm so excited to be doing it with her. She is just an awesome friend. She is always like promoting other people's channels, trying to make sure, you know, to get everybody out there and just helping other YouTubers out. And it's awesome to see that type of love and support. You know, we all need more of that, real life and on YouTube. Not that YouTube's not real life, but y'all know what I meant. So y'all go check her out. Tell her Erica sent you. She is just awesome. I promise you guys, you will not be disappointed. And we're going to get into the video, y'all. You want to get it up close so that can? Should we look at the date?
I just bought it.
It smells like dog food. Hey y'all, if you are wondering what the deal was with that corned beef hash, it was a joke between me and my husband. He had a can of corned beef hash when we first got married, and it was expired, and he said it never expires. And we kept it and kept it and kept it, and finally I got rid of it, and then he bought a new one just to replace it. But I said he was never going to cook it, so he cooked it, I think just out of spite, y'all. Anyway, here we are just cleaning up my kitchen. I really didn't have that much. I've been trying to do better about keeping the kitchen clean at night, so that's what I did here. This video, it's got a couple different days over, you know, over the course of a week, obviously, because there's, you know, days in the week. So I was cleaning out my crock pot because it needed cleaned. I don't know what I cooked in it. I think I cooked cracked chicken. And then I always clean my coffee cups by hand. I've got a collection of, you know, I guess they're ceramic or I don't know, pottery, whatever you want to call them, and I always try to wash them by hand so they don't crack in the dishwasher. And yes, for those of you that are new, I do not use a sponge for the most part, or a rag or anything like that to wash my dishes. If it needs scrubbed, I do have a little Scour Daddy that I'll use. But I've always felt more comfortable using my hand because I'm terrible with sponges and rags. You know, they end up souring and they're gross. So they're not gross. I mean, they're gross at my house. So that's what I meant. And I guess I'm just cleaning up my sink here. I don't usually shine it very often. I'll disinfect it and all that other stuff. But, you know, it just shining is something that doesn't last very long in my house. I had to put up a note right there in front of my butter dish for my kids to put their dishes up. I finally had enough with putting them in the sink and not even bothering to check and see if the dishwasher was running. So the biggest problem is I've got to be better about putting up my dishes. So this week has gone okay. We had a little bit of a rough patch this morning just because my kids ate after we went to bed because they went to homecoming last night. Their dates were go to public school, so my kids got to go, but they didn't put them in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher was completely, you know, almost completely empty, and I just it peeved me a little bit. So anyway, they cleaned them up and put them up in there, and you know, that's what kids are. You gotta teach them. It does get aggravating though after a while. So if you guys have been here a while, you know this is nothing on top of my counter. It is a little cluttered with papers, but I'm getting a little bit better. Not a lot, but you know, any progress is better than no progress. So I'll take what I can get. That little cool mist humidifier, I think I put it in my son's room. I use it, you know, during cold season, or really if any of the kids are feeling under the weather, which with the season changing, everybody's had a little bit of the sniffles. So it is coming. Okay, so I have a question, but I got to add a disclaimer. I am extremely thankful when my kids want to clean on their own and like to take care of their own things. So I'm not complaining. Is anyone else really stingy with their cleaning products? Like when my kids go to use specifically my spray away glass cleaner, they use a lot. And normally I can tell, like, when they bring me the rag that they've cleaned with, like, they don't bring it to me, like, they just go to stick it in the laundry or something else. Like, I'll notice it's, like, drenched and it, just reeks of the spray away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how much did they use? This is ridiculous. Like, and I don't want to fuss at them for it because I think it's wonderful when they want to take that initiative and clean. So it's like, I don't want to make it like a dull moment or a bad moment by being like, how much of this did you use? So it's like I've politely hinted that, be careful how much you use, y'all, because, the scents are real strong and you don't want to make yourself sick, which of course is obviously very true. And, I don't want them to get sick, but does anybody else do that too? And like, if they'll use my good cleaners, I'll be like, well, don't use too much. Well, I don't usually say that. I'm just always like, just be careful, where you're spraying. I just try not to be a party pooper with the cleaning because, like, again, I'm just thrilled and thankful when they want to clean. My daughter, she's 15, and my son, who's 15, they are both really good about keeping their own rooms clean. My son, you would almost think that he's a minimalist because his room, there's like nothing in it, but he likes it that way. So I'm honestly not going to complain. This is not the end of the video, y'all. I know normally I kind of made that like my trademark in my videos, or the signature that the video's ending. This is actually just the middle. So my husband needed clean clothes and he was tired of looking for them in the laundry room. So we went in there and, put them on there and started folding. And I was like, honey, I'll get the rest of it, which he didn't care to. He was like, I'll just get the rest of it. He's like, I'm not too good to fold clothes. He's like, they're mine too. So like I said, y'all, my husband's great to help out. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll just go ahead and get it. I was like, I can just film it real quick anyway. And so y'all, that's what happened here. I do have a little bit of trouble still letting go of all the household chores. It's not that I want to do them. It's just, I guess, when you are just so used to doing it your way and you're the one that's done it for, so long, it's hard to really to give them up. Again, I'm always happy not to have to do them, but there's still that little bit of feeling in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, I need to be the one doing it. I know you guys know this. So I'm not saying it for anybody in particular, but just, my husband and I have always been very equal in household stuff and going to work. And, we've even talked about switching roles and me going to work full time and him staying home with the kids. And he said, frankly, he doesn't think he could do the homeschool part, which he says he couldn't, but he does really help out a lot, especially with Joe now too. He's enjoying teaching Joe to read. It's been very fun for both of us. I was very nervous about homeschooling Joe this year because I've never taught a kid from the beginning. So it's, new for me, but Jeremy's even jumped in and helped here and there, and it's been really, really fun. I realize I probably need to go ahead and wash my sheets here sometime soon because I haven't spilled anything on them recently, and that's usually how I know when they get washed or when they need to be washed. So I guess yay me, but also gross at the same time that I haven't washed them. But that's life, y'all, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything because, frankly, I don't know how. I'm just sweet enough. I don't need a sugarcoat, right? Y'all, that is a pregnancy pillow. No, I'm not pregnant. I just really like sleeping on them. They're super comfortable. Okay, and so this is my dirty, dirty, dirty floor. I can keep up with clutter or I can keep up with the cleaning. I can't keep up with both. My floors have been very, very neglected. And my bedroom specifically, I'm normally pretty good about my bedroom. I don't know what happened this week, but anyway. So the room was tidied up. This was obviously a different day. That's paint on the floor, y'all. And I really wanted to give all of my floors a thorough cleaning, but for whatever reason this day, I did it backwards. I was going to keep my nephew, and he's a little over 1. So floors were my big priority this day. I started in my bedroom, and then I went to my bathroom. And the irony of it is I shut my door so he can't come in here anyway, because I've got a lot of stuff that I'm afraid he'd get hurt on. But so I ended up getting pressed for time and not getting the living room done, which is what I should have done first. But if you guys don't know, I like to sweep and then I like to vacuum and then I mop. I like to do both when I go to give my floors a real thorough cleaning, just because I don't feel like one or the other, does a job 100%. And I know I've said that in every video, and it might start to get like a broken record, but just in case somebody's new or doesn't, didn't hear. That is not a hairball, y'all. That is one of my hairnets. I ordered these special hairnets so I could wear at work so I didn't have to wear the big white ones because obviously my hair is very dark. And they end up everywhere because I leave them in my smock pockets and they'll end up in the wash. And I tell you what, they have scared every member of my household, including myself. And you guys, look at that dust in the air. I need to get one of those purifiers or something. I don't realize how gross stuff is, like the air particles. Like, it's just not something I think about until I see stuff like that. And then I'm like, ugh. Probably just need to open up my windows and let some fresh air in. It's the temperature right now. It's absolutely perfect. Cold in the morning, and then, just real nice, like 65 in the afternoon. Here is my stick vacuum. Okay, so I watched an infomercial the other day on this. I think it's the new Shark vacuum mop thing, like a robo one. And I gotta say, y'all, I'm thinking it might be something I am saving up for or asking for Christmas. If it works as well as it did on that infomercial, it might be worth it. I have a hard time thinking that I might pay over $300 for something, but it seems like it might be a good thing to save for. Okay, so I thought I would try the Tide method again because I realized that when I was using Tide before, I was using a whole thing full, and you only need a little bit of you only need like a teaspoon. Oh my gosh, that was even a little bit too southern drawl for me, y'all. So I forgot to close my thing, and that's why the water filled up. But I put a little bit of Mr. Clean concentrate and then just a tablespoon of the powdered Tide. So I have the new O-Cedar mop that has the separate water reservoir, one for clean water and one for dirty water. I do like it. I don't love it, but I thought you guys could see a little slow motion video again of how it fills up. You just pull that little thing and there comes the fresh water. And then, you put your mop in there, which again, these mop heads are not universal. They do not fit the original one, and it's much smaller. I also had bought some replacement heads, and they are really, really dingy. And these almost get too dry. I know that might sound weird, but like there's no water whatsoever. But as y'all can see there, once you get your water in your mop again, it fills right back up. But it does, it does stop when it's full. It doesn't keep going. And then I usually take my dirty mop water and I dump it on my front porch or my back porch and then take a, broom over it and just kind of sweep it everywhere. And of course, what video would be complete without some laundry? I did do a load of laundry. I've been using the Parasil, I don't know what you call it. I use my Gain fabric softener and my Arm & Hammer scented beads. I know it's excessive with the smells, but I love my clothes smelling good. I was watching Morena, y'all, the other day, Fearfully Created, and she was talking about why she likes her clothes to smell so strong because she, I guess she'd been picked on a lot when she was younger, and so it was just for having sour clothes and stuff, and that just, that clung to my heart. I understand, though, what she means. Like, not that I made fun of anyone or would make fun of anyone, but I do notice, sour clothes are one of those smells that you can really, I notice anyway, and I'm always worried that my clothes were soured, but it was something that I remember with me and my youngest son, when it was just me and him. I did live in low-income housing, and I really struggled as a single mom when when I was young. I was 18, y'all, but I did go and live on my own, and I did the best I could. But I always wanted to make sure his clothes smelled like Tide and Downy because I didn't want anybody to think like I wasn't taking care of them or I didn't care about him, and his clothes smelling good were one of those things, like it was my way of showing him I cared, even though he was just a baby. He didn't notice. And then that's something I've always done with my kids too, was making sure their clothes smell good and they're folded and put on their beds. It was one of those things I always noticed growing up, when I go to my friends' houses and stuff, their parents would fold their clothes and put them on their beds. I don't know, it was neat. But when she was talking about that, I was like, oh my gosh, that hit home, like in a different way, sort of like, I always did my laundry growing up just because, my grandparents, they were so busy and everything else. And my grandmother wanted to make sure that, we knew what to do when we were getting older. So anyway, it really stuck out to me. So what I'm doing right here, y'all, oh my goodness. So I bought these bats on Shein a long time ago, and I've been meaning to put them up in my bathroom because if y'all know, you know, I love Halloween and my whole bathroom is kind of done in that. So I've avoided putting them up here. I don't know why. And I had, and this is not me making fun or being silly. I had an ADHD moment. I had already taken my medication this day, but I don't know. Maybe somebody can relate. Have you ever gotten so bored? This is going to sound incredibly spoiled, but ever so bored that you felt like whatever task you were doing was just the end of the world. It was so miserable, like it made you irritated, and you don't even really know why. Even if it was a task that wasn't going to take long. And that is what happened here. This really literally took me 5 minutes. It was super simple to do. I loved the bats. I thought they were cute, but it just hit me. I got miserably bored and I wanted to be done with the project to the point I was going to stop. And I was like, oh my gosh, Erica, like I had to talk myself out of this. And this is one of those days I had an epiphany. I don't know if we'll get too into that, but like specifically with my ADHD, like I've, gone over, sometimes you get thoughts like this, like your brain wants to be entertained 24/7. Like you don't want to be bored. Like you've constantly got to do something. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you get agitated, you get hyper, you get, if you've been around, because it is more prevalent in young boys, if you've ever been around a little boy that's bored, sometimes it's annoying, but then a lot of times, they're finding more and more people have the ADHD, like you're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. So that's what was happening here. These bats were driving me nuts. I was like, Erica, this is ridiculous. You are not going to let this emotion take over. You are going to finish the task because it's only going to take you 5 minutes, and you're going to quit acting this way. Whether it's something, with the wires in your brain being crossed, you're just going to do it and you're going to get over it. And you're going to quit feeling this way. And I've just decided that I'm going to have this attitude now. Like when I start having those thoughts overcome, or I'm bored, or I'm just trying to, self-sabotage self-consciously, I'm just going to tell myself, no, finish your task, get onto it. And I'm just going to, I'm going to retrain my brain is what I've decided. Okay, so on to what I'm doing. I'm going to clean my bathroom floor. This is not something I do very often, but I just really wanted to clean my floors by hand. I really don't clean my bathroom floors like I should. And honestly, I didn't want to take the mop head in here because I was going to mop in my living room, and I didn't want to have to change mop heads or anything else. And I thought, well, this is a good way to really get it cleaned thoroughly, because a lot of times I feel like in smaller areas specifically, that with a big mop, you don't clean it as well, if that makes any sense, because it's like you don't have enough. You either have way too much room with your mop or not enough, or you can't get in the crooks and crannies. And I wanted to do it by hand anyway. So it is the same solution, but I'm obviously using a rag. And it is at this point that I have my nephew, as you will see in here, with permission from his mama. That is my little sea bass. Well, it's actually my sister's sea bass, but he's my little nephew. And he was good watching TV, so I figured, well, before he started getting up and running around, I was going to try and tidy up in here the best I can. Mason wanted y'all to know that he is not being lazy. He is doing his school. He is very good to help me, I have to say. All my kids are very good to help me. They always like to offer to help or whatnot. I don't know if that's because they're getting ready to ask me something and they know while they're helping is the best time. If that is, well, you know what, kids, it's a wonderful tactic. So this was the room. I really wanted to get the floors done, but it didn't happen this day. I did get to sweep real well. I didn't run the vacuum, but he was not like sleepy or scared. Well, not scared. He doesn't come over very often, so he was just kind of getting, used to being around us. It was such a sweetheart. It's been forever since I've had like a little one like this, because I always think of Joe as the baby, but Joe's almost 6, y'all. So it's like he's not a baby anymore, even though I still consider him the baby, and I call him the baby. Mason went over there to hang out with him, and Sebastian was having none of it. It was too fun. Oh my gosh, y'all. Mason makes me nervous, as baby crazy as he gets. He's 15, y'all, so pray for me. Just cleaning it. It was really more just clutter. This room doesn't ever take too long to clean up, unless I am doing the deep cleaning and stuff, which it does not happen near as much as it needs to. I was talking to somebody about it in the comments the other day. Oh my gosh, I need to vacuum in my cushions, and I just honestly, I'm afraid to pull it up. So it'll make a good video though. And here's my dining room table. I've been working on a puzzle, so that's what that big mess is over there. And then we've had, we've been doing our homeschool here, and it's real nice to have that centerpiece in the middle. I was afraid we wouldn't want to work around it, but we do. It just kind of makes school a little bit more fun. So I like having a centerpiece on my table. The problem is I tend to clutter stuff around it, which I haven't done too bad with this. Most of the clutter is just the schoolwork. But I don't enjoy putting them together. I know a lot of people love to decorate. Nope, not my cup of tea. Like if I could just poof, make a display the way I wanted it, then that'd be good. I don't mind buying stuff for it. Like that's kind of fun, but yeah, I don't like actually putting it together. So I just kind of take all my hodgepodge pieces and then I don't like cleaning around it. I know you're supposed to remove everything, but I'm not even gonna lie, I don't remove everything. So it just gets cleaned around it. So it gets cleaned underneath it when I take it off and switch everything out. And that's just how it is. We don't usually eat at the table very often anyway. We have been a little bit more recently because I've been cooking dinner every night, but we all have such different schedules that everybody ends up, at the counter by themselves, which is, I guess that's kind of sad. Well, it's not usually by themselves. We're usually in groups of two. It's usually me eating with one of my kids, and then my husband eating with whatever ever kid comes home when he's there, and then Joe eating with the other one. So, okay, y'all, this was my donation pile. This was a completely new, different donation pile, but as you can see, it's making its way out to the porch. It is currently in my car, so it's got about a 2 to 3 week waiting period back there before I get frustrated and have to put it in there, the donation box, or I need groceries, whichever one comes first. And then these are work shirts that my husband was going to give to his dad, because they used to work for the same company. But then if y'all know, my husband just switched jobs. He's liking it okay, so it's a little slower than he's used to. I guess here's JoJo eating and making faces. I did not see that coming, which was very cute. I love stuff like that. That's probably one of my favorite things about making videos. And y'all are about to see here in a minute where I forget that I have the video on. Sebastian had that little toy car in here, and he got up and was walking around and playing. Oh yeah, well see, he was snuggling there with May. Oh my gosh, Mason loves babies. Well, he just loves kids. Like he's great. He'll do real well with Joe, and he loves Sebastian. And then my nephew Waylon, like Joe, Mason just does wonderful with kids. But Sebastian decided that he was going to get up here and play in a minute, and I was going to console him, as y'all will see. And yes, that is me on a toddler's little car. And that's where I realized, crap, that the camera was still on. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching. And please check out Ashley's page. I promise you guys, you will not be disappointed. I hope wherever y'all are at, you are having a blessed one. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.